the local Labour representatives in Bury South want a by-election. Why do you not?
Well, you'll remember in the last Parliament when Labour MPs left the Labour Party, joined other parties, formed new parties. There weren't by-election in those constituencies, and indeed I wasn't calling for by-elections then. But when you're elected as a Member of Parliament, it is your name that people put a cross against. Christian Wakeford stood in Bury South. People put a cross against his name, as they did against my name in Leeds West. But look, I say bring on a general election. Let everybody up and down this country make a verdict on Boris Johnson and the Conservative government. Do they have the answers to the future challenges we face as a country, whether on the cost of living, getting our economy growing, or learning to live with COVID? Or are Labour better placed now? And many people, including Christian Wakeford in Bury South, are increasingly turning to Labour for the answers to those questions.
So just to clarify, you think that all of the people that voted up and down the country, smashing down that red wall in 2019, were voting for their local MPs and not for Boris Johnson?
Look, I just say there's precedent here. When MPs make a decision that the party that they got elected under their banner, if they join another party, as many did in the last Parliament, as you will remember very well, there aren't by-elections in those circumstances. At the next election, people will have a choice, and I say bring on that general election. I'm confident in Bury South and across the country we can win back those seats, as the Conservative Party is mired in scandal and in lies. It is only Keir Starmer and the Labour Party that have the answers to the challenges we face.
If that's the case and you're so confident, why not have a by-election?
I am struggling to hear you a little bit.
Sure, I'll speak up louder. If that's the case and you're so confident, why not have a by-election?
Well, look, there is precedent here. In the last Parliament, many Labour MPs joined another party, formed their own party. I didn't call for by-elections then. I'm not calling for one then. But, you know, if the Prime Minister wants to call a general election and many people are sick to the back teeth of this government, then the people across the country could have a chance to say whether they are happy with the hypocrisy from this government that seems to think that it's one rule for them and another for everybody else.
Yeah, even Wakeford himself, though, has previously supported a backbench bill calling for any MP who switches parties to face a recall petition, in other words, a by-election.
Well, I have never said that if an MP changes party that they should cause a by-election. I haven't called for that in the past, and I'm not calling it for that now. I'm really looking forward to working with Christian Wakeford. He's made the decision, like many Conservative voters, former Conservative voters, are making the decision that the Conservatives and this Prime Minister are no longer fit to govern. They are mired in scandal and in lies. And on the big challenges we face, which are being neglected by this government right now as they try and fight a rearguard action to save their own skins, the big challenges we face, whether it is the rise in inflation yesterday to the highest level in 30 years, whether it is the tax rises that are coming down the line at a time when people are facing a cost of living catastrophe, or whether it is plans to actually get our economy growing. And the Bank of England are forecasting by the end of this Parliament, growth will be just 1% a year. The government have run out of ideas, and many people...
Let me bring you back to Christian Wakeford, though, if you don't mind, because, of course, it's the MPs that are representing our views in the Palace of Westminster. He tweeted last year, this is what he was saying, Wakeford in the Commons last year, Labour no longer represents those working class communities. Thankfully, on this side of the chamber, we do listen. He's a bit of a turncoat, isn't he?
Well, as Keir Starmer said yesterday in the House of Commons, Labour have changed, but so have the Conservatives. Under Keir's leadership, in less than 2 years that he's been leader, he's transformed the party. We have always been a pro-worker party. We are a pro-business party too. We have the answers to the challenges that people face. And Christian Wakeford, like many other people, are looking afresh at the Labour Party, but also...
The Young Labour Twitter account has tweeted. Young Labour Twitter account has tweeted After all, you know, the young are our future, are they not? They say Christian Wakeford MP should not be admitted to the Labour Party.
The only way that Labour will win the next election, which I'm determined to do, the only way that Labour will win the next election is if we can attract people who in the past have voted for the Conservative Party. And I would say to people who voted at the Conservative Party, maybe for the first time in 2019, or maybe they've voted Conservative now for a number of years, look again at the Labour Party. Under Keir Starmer, we are under fresh leadership. We are a pro-worker and pro-business party. We have the ideas for the future, the policies to tackle the cost of living crisis, cutting VAT on gas and electricity bills, an expansion of the warm homes discount, and also plans for growth that I'll be setting out in a speech in Greater Manchester today, for innovation, for investment, for skills and for trading, to make Britain the most successful country to start a business in, to grow a business in. And those are the ideas I think the country wants to be talking about. But because of this scandal and these lies, the government are now not able to govern in the national interest.
Well, we'll find out what's going to happen next week, won't we? When apparently somebody called Sue Gray or something is going to be bringing back her report. Look forward to it. Thank you very much indeed, Rachel Reeves. Thank you.